In a world where AI can instantly generate words, images, and even music, what should humans learn to thrive? Over 2,500 years ago, Lao Tzu offered a profound insight, something no machine can replicate. Here are his words.
Clay is shaped into vessels, but it is the emptiness within that makes them useful. Doors and windows are cut to build a room, but it is the empty space inside that makes it dwellable.
Without emptiness, clay cannot become a vessel. Without emptiness, a space cannot be lived in. We often fix our attention on what we can see, the cup, the house, the obvious. But Lao Tzu taught us it is the emptiness, the unseen, the unspoken, the unnoticeable, that holds the real power. And within this ancient wisdom lies a power uniquely human, the sensibility to see the unseen. Subscribe now before we dive in. Take, for example, how we create images with AI today. There's no doubt that AI can generate visuals with incredible efficiency, but the hardest part for us in creating compelling visuals isn't what's visible on the surface. That can be quickly copied by AI. But the unseen nuances that can evoke a human sense of spirit and joy. Let's take a closer look at the difference between AI and human-made videos. Can you feel the living energy in these real foxtail grasses swaying in the wind? Each one moves differently, some high, some low, some leaning forward, others drifting back. Their spontaneous, unpredictable rhythm evokes an authentic, unspoken joy, like life itself, imperfect, unexpected, and always in motion. Well, in AI's creations, what's missing is that tiny jolt of aliveness, the countless moments of randomness, which are instead replaced by movements always confined to perfectly calculated patterns. And here's the truth. AI can replicate visible skills, but only humans can bring back the invisible wisdom. In today's episode, let's explore how to tap into that uniquely human sensibility, the art of seeing the unseen, through everyday activities like writing, painting, living, and even dressing. Hello everyone, welcome to Eastern Aesthete, a channel reawakening ancient wisdom of the Far East for all. Ready to explore this unseen magic? Our journey begins more than 3,000 years ago on a misty riverbank, where a muse who has captivated the countless hearts of emperors, connoisseurs, and admirers for millennia awaits us. What kind of beauty can remain timelessly enchanting for 3,000 years? Let's seek the answer in a poem from the Book of Songs, the oldest and most revered collection of poetry in East Asia. The poem is titled The Reeds. In just a few lines, it opens a world of infinite. Here's an excerpt.
Green reeds are thick and dense. Clear dews become frost thence. Where is the one I cherish so, across the river's steady flow? Seeking her up the stream, the way is hard and long. Seeking her down the streams, she is right in the midst of the water.
As mentioned, much of the meaning embedded in ancient Chinese poetry is untranslatable. As a rule of thumb, let me share the poetic beauty I felt in the original script. It's an autumn day by the riverbank, where an endless expanse of reeds is whispering to the soft breeze. Mist rises from the water, curling into the sky. So delicate, it feels like it might soon settle as frost. In that haze of stillness, a figure emerges in the distance. Is it her, the one I've long searched for? She stands just across the water, waiting, so close, almost within reach. Overcome, I row toward her, but suddenly the current shifts, fast and churning. The path becomes tangled, uncertain. Still, I press on. Sometimes the water lies calm, sometimes it pulls me back, but she is always there, near and far at once. I continue through this boundless realm of reeds, river, and autumn breeze. Reaching her no longer feels like the only meaning. It's the journey itself where wonder unfolds. In this iconic ancient poem, the secret of timeless beauty reveals itself, not through the words seen on the surface, but through the infinite imagination they awaken in each soul searching for meaning, embodied here in the figure of a distant beauty, man or woman near yet far. Hidden within these ageless verses lies the highest ideal of ancient Chinese art, where words end, meaning flows endlessly beyond. The concept is perfectly exemplified in this poem. Its timeless magic doesn't come from the limited words on the paper. The true magic begins the moment the book is closed. That's when something deeper begins to stir. An unseen charm beyond words, resonating infinitely, beyond what any machine could capture or reproduce in a fixed form. Now let's continue our journey into the unseen wonders hidden within some masterful ink paintings. This is a landscape painting by contemporary artist Ho Xiantang. Can you feel it? The clouds, rolling, surging, spiraling, sweep across a boundless range of rugged peaks. But here's the trick. If you take a closer look, you'll notice not a single cloud is actually painted. That sense of movement, that dynamic energy, it all comes from the unpainted spaces left on the white Xuan paper. In that emptiness, the clouds come to life. Our minds begin to wander, to imagine, to perceive far beyond what's physically there. We learn to see, not only with our eyes, but to see the unseen with our minds. The artwork embodies a philosophical concept in Eastern aesthetics called Liu Bai in Chinese, or Ma in Japanese. It's about the intentional use of negative space to make room for emotional resonance and deeper meaning. The essence of Liu Bai or Mar is not simply about leaving empty space, but about mastering the balance between absence and presence. Through this artful tension between the seen and the unseen, a living energy is awakened, a kind of qi that flows freely and evokes an inner joy beyond any form or words. Before we move on, let me clarify something. It's easy to assume that minimalism and the Eastern concept of leaving space are the same. At first glance, they might appear similar, but the philosophies behind them are actually quite different. Minimalism focuses on stripping away non-essential details and decoration. The ancient philosophy of leaving emptiness is not about being minimal, but about creating a breathing presence that bridges the inner self and the outer world. Within this breathing essence lies an infinite variety of motion and an ever-changing presence. In a world increasingly shaped by the precision and sameness that AI champions, the wisdom of Liu Bai or Ma reminds us there is power in being unrepeatable, in being you, in your unique way of seeing what others don't. And perhaps that's exactly what we need to relearn in this age of automation and replication. In upcoming episodes, we'll explore how ancient Eastern wisdom guides us back to this precious essence within us. So don't forget to subscribe. Your journey is only beginning. Next, let's talk about fashion. Can you imagine that this unseen charm can also be expressed through the way we dress? We all know how a well-tailored garment can sculpt the body into an idealized silhouette through structured seams. In this approach, the look depends on the precision of a predefined shape. Let's imagine an alternative to this sculpted charm of exactness, a different kind of tailoring, where form isn't shaped by the garment's contour, but instead arises from flowing the space that flows between the body and the fabric. At first glance, such clothing might appear loose, even shapeless. Yet it's this intentional looseness, this letting go, that allows the wearer to move with ease and begin a dynamic dialogue with the material through every step. It's within this interplay between the seen fabric and the unseen space beneath that your personal, idiosyncratic style begins to emerge, taking on a form that belongs only to you, revealed in every step, every breath, and every shift in tempo. Next, we'll explore how the unseen can elevate the space we call home. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed the things we usually take for granted, like the air, the light, the wind, these unseen presences that surround us every day? What if these elements could be made visible and bring a sense of poetry to our environment? Here's a real-life example: the gardens of Suzhou, a place with over 2,000 years of garden artistry. Though much of the original craft has been lost over time, some elements still remain, and one of them is the ever-present white wall found throughout. These simple white and gray plaster walls, often standing behind few plants, create vast spaces of visual emptiness. At first glance, they might seem, well, plain, even dull. But hidden within this simple facade lies thoughtful design, revealed only when nature interacts with it. In the late afternoon, when the sun dips low and shadows stretch long across the garden, these walls awaken. As the gentle breeze moves the bamboo and sunlight filters through, the walls transform into an improvised canvas of light and shadow, painted as if by the breeze itself. It's the emptiness of these pure white walls that gives light, air, and wind the space to perform, where the unseen becomes seen. Inspired by the poetic beauty of the white walls in Suzhou Gardens, I recreated a touch of that unseen magic in my own study room. A simple space with white walls, wooden floor, and a few pieces of furniture. I hung a tulle curtain that softened the light beautifully. Outside the window, I placed a few trailing vines, not many, just enough to catch the wind. And here's the magic. Every sunny afternoon, the room blossoms. The wind sways, leaves twirl, casting playful shadows that ripple across the walls, the floor, and the desktop. The room becomes a living poem, written in light and shadow. I don't have to do too much. With just a curtain and a few plants, I invite the wind, the light, and the air to dance in the room. I simply sit with it all, soaking in these little moments, and feel completely content. Then, when I return to my creative work, fresh ideas flow with ease. It's in these undoing moments, those quiet pauses touched by unseen beauty, that something invisible does the real wonder. Isn't life the same? No matter how rushed it may be, we must give ourselves a little moment to let the sunlight pour in, to feel the cool breeze kiss our skin, to invite the fresh aroma of plants to linger around. It's in these moments of pause, not in moments of force, that we reconnect with something greater, a sense of spiritual joy uniquely inherent in being human. In an era consumed by AI's race for speed and homogeneity, it may be more important than ever to create a little emptiness in our space, our minds, our lives. For within this emptiness lies the true power for the human being to breathe, to flourish, and to see the unseen. Thank you for watching. If today's episode sparked a little new perspective on your life journey, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Your tiny click could make someone's work more magical. Before you go, we invite you to click the link in the description to explore East Asia's oldest poetry, the Book of Songs. In addition to original commentary and translation, we've created unique artwork for each poem, aiming to capture the invisible poetry of these ancient Eastern verses through the visible light of Renaissance art.